Hey guys, welcome back. It is Stephanie Scheller. This is our Business Owners Spotlight series. This is the series where I sit down with incredible business owners, people who have something of value to add to your life, to my life. Like I do this because I learn every time I do these interviews. And for me, it's a great way to get other people the chance to talk and share. I do a lot of talking. So I'm actually going to shut up right now and just say, Wes, thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Stephanie. Good to be here.
So Wes, obviously I know what you do because we know each other outside of just this interview. But for our listeners and watchers out there, could you catch us up real quick?
Sure. Wes Kleckley, branch manager at Interlink Mortgage. We are a local-based, I'll say local in San Antonio. We're a mortgage bank. So we fund residential mortgages, whether somebody's buying a house or needing to refinance. If it's residential related, we finance it.
Nice. How did you end up doing that? Because it's kind of a specific.
Yeah. Yeah. So funny story. I went to school, graduated from Sam Houston in Huntsville, Texas. Right out of college, I got a job. Sorry.
I said you had to clarify where that one was.
Yeah. Huntsville, Texas, Sam Houston State. So, I'll get into what brought me over here later. But anyway, my first job out of college, I got a finance degree. My first job was working for a home builder. And I did that for 8 to 10 months, sometime around there. I enjoyed it, but it was definitely not the financial side of it. It wasn't the sales side. It was more the construction management side. It was a good job. I ended up running into a buddy 8 to 10 months later that was working at a mortgage company. He's a buddy from college. And, man, he got me on at his company in 2002. So 15 years ago, been 15 years in the business. About 2 years later, we started our own mortgage brokerage in the Woodlands, Texas, and that was in 2004. So we were business partners, and then in 2008, dissolved the partnership, but came up under the umbrella of Interlink Mortgage, which I'm still here today. So we went from broker to banker. Banker has a lot of benefits. We actually control the whole process, fund our own money, but as a broker, you broker it out to a wholesale lender, you have less control. So there's very few mortgage brokers in the business today. All the new regulation after the meltdown made it more difficult to operate in that environment. So mortgage bank is really the sweet spot. You've also got retail lenders like your big banks, Chase, Bank of America, USAA. They offer a ton of financial products, and mortgages are simply a sliver of what they do. So I believe we are in the sweet spot of this industry. Right after what brought me to San Antonio was in 2009. We found out we're having our second child, so we decided to move to San Antonio, right down the street from my wife's parents. She was born and raised here, so it was a good move. It was a good move.
Nice. Now, I am curious. So, in my experience, I've seen a lot of mortgage brokers, bankers, loan officers kind of jump from company to company. But you've been with Interlink for how many years?
Since 2008, so it's that 9 years?
9 years, yeah.
9 years,
So,
going 10 years.
Why did you stick with them? Just curious.
Yeah, good question. I get asked that all the time, and that's actually one of my selling points. We just did a presentation in front of 30 real estate agents, and that's one of my selling points of the longevity of being here. I have to admit, in 2012, my business partner and I thought the grass was greener on the other side, and left Interlink. I went to another mortgage bank out of Houston. I was there for about 4 months, 3 to 4 months. Realized real quick the mistake I'd made, and I came back. I'm gonna blame it on him mostly. It was his idea. But the good part about it is that I came back, he stayed there, and I was able to run my own operations since 2012, and he as well. And we're still friends to this day, which is rare, after a split like that. But other than that 3 to 4 month stint at that other company, I've been with Interlink Mortgage. I get a chance to talk to some of the best lenders across the nation in a coaching program I'm in. And I truly believe there's no better platform out there for a mortgage person than here. So,
what would you say is probably the number one thing that has helped you out with being successful? Because you are extremely successful in your industry. What would you say is probably the number one thing that has taken you past the level of just being a player to being a player?
Simple answer is coaching. got in the industry in 2002, and then in 2012, January 2012, joined a coaching program, Core Training. It's a nationwide lending and real estate coaching firm. So prior to that, I had no mentor. My business partner and I, we simply learned from the street. I mean, we had no mentor, did not know what we were doing, just learned through the transactions. And
Right.
we were pretty good loan officers. We had a pretty successful business. Even after splitting from him, I did fairly well. I was above average. Thought I had it going on. And then I went to my first summit, coaching summit, and I realized how broken I was, saw how big some of these people were, and saw what the possibility was, or what the potential was. And the funny thing about it is I saw them and I said, man, they're nothing, that much more special than me. So anyway, that's what changed my life, changed my business, and literally has changed my life. I've been doing it for almost 6 years now.
Nice. What was some of the challenges that you faced? So you had a partner, switched to another business, you came back. So you had a partner, lost a partner, went. So obviously there have been challenges along the way. What were some of those big major challenges that nearly put you out of business, and how did you handle them?
I think the biggest challenge for me was the moving from the Woodlands just north of Houston to San Antonio. I literally knew her parents. That was it. I knew nobody but her parents. So I'm moving over here in 2009, October 2009. So right after the housing crash, and had no contacts. Luckily, I still had some contacts back in the Houston area. So I didn't just go to zero business, but I learned real quick that it was time to hit the street. I learned that I needed to make relationships with realtors and builders. My wife didn't work. She was pregnant with our second child, and it was sink or swim. So I went out and hired my first assistant about a year later, and went from there. I mean, just hit the ground running and just prospected my butt off until we got here.
Was it scary? Like, did you ever have that moment where you literally sat there and thought you couldn't keep going?
No, I knew I'd make it happen.
Yeah.
I saw too many other people in the business that were doing it, or made it. So I just made in my mind that it was going to happen.
Nice. So, I don't know many people who have that kind of confidence. A lot of people end up struggling at some point, wondering if they're going to make it through the business. What's something you could give? What's some kind of advice you could give to that person who's kind of in the midst of, and wow, this has been a quick interview. But what's some of the advice you could give to some of those guys who are in the midst of it right now? Best piece of advice, best lesson learned?
I would say, first you've got to start with, and not everybody knows this, and to be honest with you, I can't truly articulate it myself, what the end game is, what your vision is, but you have to have some kind of end goal. Obviously I don't want to be chasing realtors and closing loans for the rest of my life, but I want to set myself up. I enjoy doing it. It's a great job. I've been doing it 15 years. I'll do it for the foreseeable future. I enjoy it. I love the challenge. But also, you've got to find something that gives you that fire in your belly that just makes you get up every day and want to go to work and go knock out those 100 calls, even when you don't feel like it. So no matter how bad you're struggling, just know there's other people out there doing the same thing. They're not superhuman, that they're struggling too. And it's whoever gets up and gets after it that day is really, going to make it.
Wow. I'm really glad that was recorded, because I could not write that down fast enough, but that was a good ending note there. I did that the other day, actually, with another guy. He had like a great finale, and I was panicking because I was like, oh my gosh, I missed, totally forgot we were recording the whole thing. It took me like half an hour of like trying to remember, and I was like, I'm going to text him. And I was like, no, I'm not going to text him. It's stupid. But this one's recorded as well. Well, I really appreciate that. Do you have any last words of wisdom, any last nuggets to drop?
Yeah, I think no matter what business, obviously I'm in the mortgage business, but no matter what business you're in, we all have the same problems. For the most part, a lot of them are staff, team, people. That's one of the biggest problems out there. So navigating through that and really having a plan, knowing what your business is going to look like, knowing you can't do it all. That's the biggest thing I've learned through this coaching program is delegation. You can't do everything yourself. And if you do, you're going to be burnt out and you're only going to get so big. So figure out what strengths you have. My strengths are, as a leader, I lead the team and I create relationships that bring business in. The rest of the rest of the mortgage stuff, I have people that specialize in that. I do a personality test. I do a disc test with everybody that I hire. I make sure I'm putting them in the right seat. So that's a big thing. Biggest thing too, no matter what business you're in, always be selling, always be prospecting. If you're not the one doing it, have a sales team. Always be finding new business. We say in this business, more leads fixes all problems, and it's true. You know, you have a bad day, but you get more leads, you're good.
I heard someone once who knows what he's talking about, but he said, if you have enough money in the bank, you can make pretty much any problem go away.
That's right.
I was like, took me a while to come around to that because I was like, no. And then the more I thought about it, I was like, I really can't think of a problem big enough.
Yeah. You know, one final thought is, and again, this applies for any business, really focus on creating relationships. For any business. And in order to really do that well, we've got to say kind of our current mantras, be more interested instead of interesting. Don't tell everybody how interesting you are, but be more interested in them. And that relationship will go deeper and you're going to get more business.
I think that's a good tip just for sales in general, just business in general. The more I always laugh when people tell me, oh my God, you're a great conversationalist, because I'm actually really not. I'm just really good at asking questions, getting the other person to talk. So
right.
I can do a great job. I'm like, unless I have a prescribed script that I'm following, I'm not really that great at it.
Yeah.
So, well, thank you so much. I actually got a whole page of notes here out of this one. So thank you for coming and sitting down with me, taking time for this.
No, you're welcome. I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Well, cool. Well, for our listeners out there, this is what this is about. This is about finding that business owner who's doing something amazing, who has something to add, who has something to share and can help you guys out and just needs the chance to have the spotlight put on them. So please do me a favor. I want to find these people. We've set a goal to do 100 of these in 90 days, which was kind of an insane goal, but I would still love to hit it. So if you know of somebody who deserves the spotlight, scroll down, grab my contact information, connect me with them. I want to find them. I want to give them the chance to shine and share what they know. In the meantime, looking forward to joining you guys again. I should have 3 or 4 more of these out this week. I'm looking forward to dropping more wisdom with you guys and bringing more amazing people to drop that wisdom for me. I'll talk to you guys soon.